All right. Hello, welcome to our March Upcycled Crafternoon. Today's topic is water. My name is Alexis, and I'm joined here with my colleague Amanda from Youth Services. And we're gonna get right into it. And we're gonna start with some interesting water facts that I found. So just bear with me and I will share my screen with you. All right, so this kind of blows my mind, but 71% of the Earth's surface is covered in water, and the oceans hold about 96.5% of all the Earth's water. 2.5% of the Earth's water is fresh water. So like out of all the drinking water that we have, or out of all the water that we have, what's drinkable to us is 2.5%. It kind of blows my mind. It's the only natural substance that can be found in all three states: liquid, gas, and solid. And it's unusual that water in its solid form as ice is less dense than the liquid form, which is why ice floats when you put it in water, a glass or soda or whatever. Water constantly moves on above and below the surface, as you can see here. I got this from the United States Geological Survey, and it just kind of shows you how water moves around on the earth. And then I know it's probably going to be obvious, but can any of you tell me where the water we drink here in Muncie comes from? What water source? And it's in the picture, so hopefully you recognize it.
Is that the
Anyone?
White River?
It is the White River. So according to the Muncie Sanitary District, the water we drink here in Muncie comes from the White River. And then why is water important? Well, the human body needs water. It carries nutrients to the cells in our body and helps us absorb things like vitamins, glucose, and other substances we need to be healthy. It flushes our bodies of toxins and wastes, regulates our body temperature, acts as a lubricant for our joints and muscles. And since we cannot store water, we're always losing it. That's why we need to always be drinking it, which is why we're supposed to get our 8 glasses per day. And then, of course, plants need water to grow. It's an important part of our ecosystem in terms of food production and keeping our air healthy by absorbing carbon dioxide. And then last, wildlife in our streams depend on the water sources. So any of the fish that you possibly eat, you know, they need water in order to breathe. So it's part of our food system too. All right, and whenever I think of water pollution, I'm going to move on to the topic of water pollution. I think of this scene from Happy Feet with the penguin and the plastic pop thing. So we as humans are the main cause of water pollution. So litter, as you can see in this picture, gets into our water. The plastics are consumed by wildlife and cause issues with breathing and eating. Also, the components in plastic are absorbed into the animals, and if we eat those animals like fish or duck, then we are putting those harmful chemicals into our bodies as well as the bodies of other predatory animals. Also, rain washes soil and litter into bodies of water, and that causes problems for the creatures that live there. Pesticides and fertilizer within soil contain harmful chemicals like nitrogen and phosphorus, and this causes the water to turn green and algae to grow. And then last, factories put their waste products into the water supply. Corroded pipes can lead to lead in our water supply. So again, this water pollution can have a big impact on our ecosystem. All right, and then my last topic is water scarcity, which is being caused by climate change. Higher temperatures are leading to severe drought, while extreme weather patterns affect rain and snowfall, thus affecting our water supply. And it's also causing evaporation of our water basins. The population is putting more demands on our water sources, especially in urban areas, and it's been estimated that by 2025, 2/3 of the world may face water shortages. And I think this is a nice way that we can actually segue into our craft. So one of the ways you can conserve water is by limiting the amount of water you use to water plants in your lawn. And farmers use irrigation during months of low rainfall, and this craft will kind of use that same concept. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I will turn it over to Amanda.
Hello. Additionally, keeping the plastic out of the ocean is, for as long as possible, is really a good goal to have as well. And this craft will help you with that. So we're going to start with a plastic bottle with a lid. This is a juice bottle, but you can also use a water bottle or a milk jug, anything that you have that has a lid. And we're going to start by cutting around about the first 1/4 of the jug, so that you end up with 2 pieces like this. And you can do that using either a utility knife or a pair of scissors, whatever you have handy. So once you have that separated, you can flip it over and put it in like that. And then you'll take the cap like this, and you're going to use a nail and hammer into it so that you start to make a hole. Once you get the nail out, the hole's pretty tiny, so you're going to want to kind of ream that out a little bit with a pair of scissors or whatever you have handy. Just to kind of make the hole large enough so that you can feed a piece of yarn through. Now, cotton yarn will work best, but if all you have is acrylic, that's fine. You could also probably use like a really tiny piece of a shoestring, or even a tiny piece of like an old t-shirt or something, and just as long as you can fit it through the hole. Then you'll thread it through the cap, like so. Tie a little knot so it doesn't fall through. And then you'll screw the cap back onto the top of the bottle, so that you have the yarn hanging down. Then you'll set it in like this, put some water in the bottom, and then you can fill this with dirt and put a seed or a small cutting of a plant in there, and the water will absorb up the yarn into the dirt and keep it moist.
And you can do this with like any kind of a bottle too. It could be like a small bottle, it could be a big bottle, just anything you have.
Absolutely. A milk jug, it doesn't have to be round, it can be square, anything that you can cut and that has a lid that you can poke a hole in. Or if you have one of those water bottles that has like the pull top on it, like that you can suck out of, that's even easier because you can just kind of thread it through that. So yeah, it's pretty nifty. Okay. And you can paint it and decorate it, put stickers on it, make them cute, or just leave them as they are.
Yeah, I think washi tape would be fun with that.
It would be fun, or duct tape.
Yeah, the pretty duct
you
tape.
Could make a whole, if you got the small ones, you could use a whole row of them on like your windowsill and make a little herb garden in your kitchen. That would be great.
And a good way to reuse what we already have too, outside of, recycling. I mean, obviously recycle, but if you can find other uses for things too, I think that's
well, and you
cool.
can recycle it when you're done with it. You can still recycle it later.
That's true. That's very true.
But it's reducing the need to buy like little potting pots, or seed starting pots, that are made of plastic. So yeah, it's a nice way to reuse.
Okay. All right. Any questions thus far? I feel like I kind of moved through things a little fast. Okay. I take it that's a no. So we'll at this point move on to how do we conserve water and how do we keep it clean? So I'm going to share my screen again. And then let me get back to, all right, ways to conserve water. So some of these are probably going to be things that you already do, but I think it's still a good reminder, just because I don't think we think about it on a daily basis. So I think the biggest one, which our first picture represents, when you're brushing your teeth, turn the faucet off when you're not actively using the water. because I think I don't know the exact figure. I could go back and look it up, but you're probably using a lot of water just in that single use every time you brush your teeth if you don't turn it off while you're actually brushing. Only run the washing machine and dishwasher when you have a full load. Fix any leaks you may have at home, and you can actually get a leak detection kit through Indiana American Water, and I'll put the link for that in the chats before we leave. And this is one I would have trouble with because I like my high pressure showers, but if you use a low flow shower head and install faucet aerators, that should, you know, help you conserve water. It would lower your pressure, which, you know, that's not always great, but you would be saving water. And you can also install a low flush toilet or get in a conversion kit for an existing toilet. In the summer, we're actually starting to get into those summer months. Don't overwater your lawn and don't water at peak heat times. So pick either the morning or evening to water your lawn, because if you do it during the day, it's just gonna evaporate with the heat. Wash your car with a bucket or a sponge instead of a hose, and install a rain barrel for outdoor watering. And I can, again, put some more resources for those in the chat. And then, of course, ask for a home water audit. You should be able to do that through your water company, I think. But I can definitely look for sources for that as well. All right, how do we keep it clean? Don't dump things in our drains that shouldn't be dumped in our drains, like oil, paint, wipes, and expired pills. Some places do have a take a back program. For example, you can take old oil to an automobile store like AutoZone or O'Reilly's, or some pharmacies may have a pill take back program like CVS or Walgreens. You can search by product on Earth 911 to see what options you have, or check out the Muncie Sanitary District site. And to kind of go along with this, if you have a car or plan to be a driver at some point, perform regular maintenance on your car so it doesn't have like any oil leaks. That seeps into our groundwater supply, where we, of course, get our water. So we would end up drinking that. Clean up after your pets outside with rain. That can, again, get washed into our waterway, so it would pollute our waters. Avoid using pesticides and chemical fertilizers. They seep into our water supply and are very dangerous to our health. Don't use antibacterial soaps and cleaners, which I think that's kind of hard now since we're still in a pandemic. But these types of things contain triclosan, which harms aquatic life, and it's also been linked to causing antibiotic resistance. And overall, just be a water advocate. Get involved in your community, write to your politicians if this topic is important to you. Yeah, and that's really about all I have for you today. Let me get the things in our chat really quickly. And then if you're watching this, hold on a minute, sorry. There we go. If you're watching this as a video, I will make sure to post those later on. Let me find my page that has the resources on it. So please bear with me. Amanda, was there anything else you wanted to say?
Well, we have a pretty cool upcoming program that has both with plants and upcycling. It's our next Upcycling Crafternoon. We're going to make some newspaper starter pots for seeds. And I think Alexis is talking about soil quality.
Soil and like native plants, and why gardening is important, why using native plants is important, things like that. And I'll put the information up here in a minute. I just had to stop sharing while I put these links in the chat. And again, as I said, I'll also put them at the end of this video or in the comments once it's archived onto YouTube. But yeah, I put the first three are how to build a rain barrel, and then the last one is the link to get a leak detection kit through Indiana American Water, I think is what it's called. So let me just quickly, I'll put that back up again. So yeah, next month's topic is gardening. It'll be Thursday, April 8th at 7 p.m. And you can find the Zoom information in our calendar. And then were there any other programs you wanted to plug? I know there is going to be an adult take and make in April as well, after, like, I want to say the week of April 19th. And I think it's a jean, like, dog toy. They're making like a blue jean dog toy. So it's kind of an upcycled blue jean craft.
Yes, that's true. And on March 24th, I believe it is, the Wednesday of the Muncie Community School spring break, youth services will be at Minnetrista's Family Adventure Day with crafts and such, and there will be an upcycled teen craft available.
And then, of course, stay tuned for summer reading, because that'll be coming up, I think, in June. I don't think we have the date set for it, but we'll be doing it.
Yeah, I believe it starts the first week of June, but I'm not 100% on the date.
Okay. But yeah, stay tuned, because we will be doing that this year. So, all right.
And Star Wars month is coming up in May.
Yeah. Of course.
We have a lot of fun things planned for that. So.
Yeah. Did we have any questions or anything that, I don't know, you wanted to say about water? I'm going to say that's a no. Well, thank you for coming.